th meeting of the Mayor and City Council will come to order. Please note, if you wish to be heard at this meeting, please sign the speaker list provided on the table at my right side of the council chamber. I reserve the right to limit the amount of time each speaker has for each agenda item, and tonight each speaker will have 3 minutes to speak for each agenda item. I'll note that there's a court reporter present for 3 of the items that are on the agenda. If everybody will stand for the invocation by Reverend Warren H. Litchfield and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance led by the Mayor.
Almighty God, we gather this evening to conduct the business of this city. We offer our prayer for our mayor, for the president, for the members of the city council, and for all in authority. Grant us them a sense of justice, strength, and wisdom as they perform their duty in behalf of all thy people. We commend this city, this county, this state, and this nation to thy merciful care and understanding. We ask a special blessing for all the members of our law enforcement community and fire and rescue. Defend them day by day with your heavenly grace. Strengthen them in their trials and temptations. Give them courage to face the perils which beset them. And grant each a sense of your abiding presence wherever they may be. Remember those who lie upon a bed of affliction. Comfort those who mourn. In the name of the one who is Lord of life, we pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Move to agenda item number 4. Call the roll, Ms. Rowe.
Mr. Ricks?
Aye, here.
Ms. Nicholas? Here. Ms. Crary?
Here.
Mr. Smalls?
Here.
President Les?
Here.
Mayor Mel?
Here. The agenda item number 5, approval of minutes, 36th meeting of July 10th, will be on the agenda of the first meeting in September. Move to agenda item number 6, report of the Mayor and City Council. And tonight we'll start with Mr. Smalls.
Mr. President, I have no report at this time.
Thank you. Move to Ms. Nicholas.
Thank you. I'd like to wish everybody a safe summer and just ask that you watch my Facebook page. I've got quite a few summer projects coming up for kids. I have 2 Facebook pages. One is Valerie Nicholas and the other one is Valerie Nicholas, Ward 1 City Council. It's going to be a lot of nice upcoming projects for kids. They'll have a lot of fun. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Nicholas. Ms. Crary.
Thank you, Mr. President. Last Wednesday, we had City Hall in the park at the Wellington Pool House, and I want to thank everyone that came out. I also invite them to put their names in and resumes to become volunteers. They seemed quite active the other night, and a lot of the questions, I think they'd be well qualified for some of our committees. In addition to that, we had the volunteer picnic on Friday night. It was well attended. I see several of the volunteers here tonight. I don't think they can get enough of us. That's wonderful. And I thank them all very much for their service to the city. Thank you. That's my report.
Thank you, Ms. Crary. Mr. Ricks.
I have no report, sir.
Thank you. Condolences to the Marlin family. Their family was in Laurel for a long time, and it is a shame. I'll note that in August there will be no Mayor and City Council work session, nor Mayor and City Council meetings unless there is a special meeting that will be called and posted for people to see. That concludes my report. Mayor?
Thank you, Mr. President. A couple condolences to the family and friends of Gertrude Poe. Gertrude was a very committed individual to this city and for a long, long time, and she will be missed. Also to Chief McLaughlin and his family and the passing of his wife Jennifer's grandmother. To former police chief here, Dave Moore, and his wife Paula on the passing of their son Jesse Moore, who passed away. Also to our former chief of the Laurel Volunteer Rescue Squad, Jimmy Robinson, who was here in the city for many, many years and moved to Georgia, I think it was. We've learned passed away as well. And Jimmy is one that gave many, many hours to the Laurel Volunteer Rescue Squad and to the city as well. Also speedy recoveries to Joe Robinson, who's a little bit under the weather. Let me also congratulate my nephew, Connor, and his wife, Carly, on their marriage. Also, we did have City Hall in the Park at Wellington Community Center. Well attended. I want to thank those residents that came out, and you heard the annual volunteer picnic was at Greenview Pool and Cabana. I want to thank again the volunteers that do many, many things here for the city of Laurel, make many things possible for the community. On July the 31st, Play by the Book Touch a Truck event at the Emancipation Park. It will be co-sponsored by the Laurel Library at 6 o'clock in the city. I think may have been mentioned that August the 1st is the Laurel Police Department's National Night Out at Grandview Goody Park. Starts at 6, and we encourage you to come out and participate. My time with the mayor will be at the Robert J. DePietro Community Center from 4:30 until 6:30 on August the 14th. Also, City Hall in the Park next will be on August the 16th at Centennial Park at 6:30 to 8. And then on August the 26th, Back to School Jam, sponsored by the City of Laurel and Laurel Board of Trade at McCullough. So I thought Grandview Goody Park from 5 until 9:30, and then the 5th annual Emancipation Day 5K Run Walk will start at Sturgis Moore and Sturgis Moore Park and McCullough Field, and that'll start at 8:30. And then on September the 2nd as well, the Emancipation Day celebration starts at 10 a.m. I do have a proclamation, but I'll wait and do that a little bit later on, Mike.
Thank you, Mayor. Let me hold the general public hearing since I have no one signed up to speak. And the same thing with agenda item 10. We'll move to agenda item number 11. Third public hearing with possible action on resolution number 10-17. A resolution of the Mayor and City Council of Laurel, Maryland, adopting an annexation plan for the annexation of certain real property known as 7041 Contee Road, Laurel, Maryland, and 7051 Contee Road, Laurel, Maryland, owned by Strittmatter Contee, LLC. I've read the title into the record for the third reading of record. Christian, if you would read the file, please.
Good evening. A petition for annexation was filed with the Mayor and City Council of Laurel by Strittmatter Contee, LLC, 9102 Owens Drive, Manassas Park, Virginia, 20111, owner of real property known as 7041 and 7051 Contee Road, Laurel, Maryland, 20707, which is contiguous to and adjoining the present corporate boundaries of the City of Laurel, and which is particularly described in the petition, Exhibit A, and legal descriptions, Exhibit B, attached to the annexation resolution and depicted on the plat of the properties to be annexed by the city as a result of the petition's Exhibit Cs. as well as a plat showing the entire annexation Exhibit D. The petitioner desires that the 26.61 acres of property known as 7041 Contee Road, tax parcel 146, be annexed into the city limits and placed in the RT residential townhouse zone, and 6.07 acres of property known as 7051 Contee Road, tax parcel 148, be placed in the R5 zone, one family detached, which are essentially the same land uses in Prince George's County. An annexation agreement for the annexation of Strittmatter Contee LLC property and corresponding resolution were introduced by the Mayor and City Council at a public hearing held on May 8th, 2017, at a second public hearing regarding the annexation agreement and resolution number 9-17 held on Monday, May 22nd, 2017. And the Mayor and City Council approved the annexation agreement and resolution. On June 5th, 2017, in accordance with City Code, a notice was sent to all contiguous property owners and adjacent homeowner associations advising of the proposed annexation and of the public hearing scheduled. At the regularly scheduled Mayor and City Council meeting on June 12, 2017, the Mayor and City Council introduced the Annexation Plan and corresponding resolution number 10-17, Annexation Resolution number 11-17, and Charter Resolution number 171. On June 13, 2017, in accordance with Maryland Annotated Code, Local Government Article 4-415, the annexation plan was sent to the following agencies: the Honorable Mary A. Lehman, Council Member, Prince George's County, District 1, Office of the Clerk of the Council for Prince George's County, Prince George's County Planning Board, Prince George's County Planning Department Director, Maryland National Capital Park and Planning Commission, Development Review Division, Prince George's County Department of Public Works and Transportation, Maryland State Department of Planning. No comments were received regarding the annexation. The annexation plan describes the proposed annex area as well as the proposed uses and extension of services. Consistent with state law, the notice of public hearing of July 24, 2017 on the annexation was advertised for 4 consecutive weeks in the Prince George's Centennial on June 15, June 22nd, June 29, and July 6. This concludes the reading of the file for the annexation plan resolution 10-17, Mr. President.
Thank you. I will open the public hearing at 6:11. I have no one signed up to speak on this agenda item. Is there anyone wishing to speak? Seeing no one, I will close the public hearing at 6:12. What's the pleasure of the council?
Mr. President.
Mr. Ricks.
Sir, I move that we adopt resolution number 10-17 as read into the record.
Okay, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Curry. Any discussion? Call the roll, Ms. Rowe.
Mr. Ricks?
Say aye.
Ms. Crary?
Yes.
Ms. Nicholas?
Yes.
Mr. Smalls?
I vote yes.
President Laz?
Yes. Move to agenda item number 12. Third public hearing with possible action on annexation resolution number 11-17, first 2017 annexation, a resolution of the Mayor and City Council of Laurel entitled First 2017 Annexation, enlarging the corporate boundaries of the City of Laurel by annexing into the corporate limits of the City of Laurel certain real property contiguous to and adjoining the city's existing corporate boundaries known as 7041 Contee Road, Laurel, Maryland, and 7051 Contee Road, Laurel, Maryland, owned by Strittmatter Contee LLC, consisting of approximately 32.68 acres. I've read the title into the record for the third reading of record. Christian, please read the file.
Thank you. Good evening again. I would like to have the testimony just presented for Annexation Plan Resolution 10-17 to be included for Annexation Resolution 11-17 for the first annexation of 2017. This Annexation Resolution number -11-17 would approve the proposed annexation of 32.6 acres into the City of Laurel. On July 11, 2017, the City of Laurel Planning Commission reviewed the annexation resolution and held a public hearing. The plan Planning Commission recommended that the mayor and city council approve the first annexation of 2017, and the recommendation dated July 13, 2017 reads as follows. On the motion by Mr. Welford, seconded by Mr. Kish, and carried on a roll call vote of all members present, the Planning Commission recommended that the mayor and city council approve annexation 1-27, including annexation resolution number 11-17 and charter resolution number 171 as presented. Thank you.
Thank you, Christian. I'll open the public hearing at 6:14. I have no one signed up to speak. Is there anyone wishing to speak on this agenda item? Seeing no one, I will close the public hearing at 6:14 and a half. What's the pleasure of the council?
Mr. President,
Mr. Ricks.
I move for the adoption of annexation resolution number 11-17, first 2017 annexation, as read into the record.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Creary. Any discussion? Call the roll, Ms. Rowe.
Mr. Ricks?
Aye.
Ms. Crary?
Yes.
Ms. Nicholas?
Yes.
Mr. Smalls?
I vote yes.
President Les?
Yes. Thank you. Move to agenda item number 13. Third public hearing with possible action on Charter Amendment Resolution number 171, first 2017 annexation, a charter amendment resolution amending the charter of the City of Laurel, Article 200, corporate limits to add Section 251, first 2017 annexation, to include within the description of the corporate limits of the city all of the land annexed into the city via annexation resolution number 11-17, which property is known as 7,041 Contee Road and 7,051 Contee Road, and consisting of 32.68 acres of land, more or less. I've read the title into the record for the third reading of record. Christian, would you please read the file?
For Charter Amendment Resolution number 171, I would also like to include the prior testimony of the other annexation agenda items as well. This resolution amends the city charter to include within the description of the corporate limits of the City of Laurel annexed into the city via the first 2017 annexation, which property is known as 7041 and 7051 Contee Road and consists of 32.6 acres of land, more or less. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Christian, what's the pleasure of the council?
Mr. President,
Ms. Crary.
I recommend that we move to accept.
Mr. President, excuse me, you need to open the public hearing.
Oh, I'm sorry.
He didn't open the public hearing.
I apologize. I'll open the public hearing at 6:17. I have no one signed up to speak. Is there anyone wishing to speak? Seeing no one, I will close the public hearing at 6:17 and a half. Now, what's the pleasure of the council?
Mr. President, I move that we accept the third public hearing as read into the record on Charter Amendment Resolution number 171, the first annexation of 2017.
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Creary. Thank you, Mr. Ricks. Any discussion? Call the roll, Ms. Rowe.
Ms. Crary?
Yes.
Mr. Ricks?
Yes.
Ms. Nicholas?
Yes.
Mr. Smalls?
I vote yes.
President Les?
Yes. Thank you, Christian, and that concludes the activities of the court reporter. I'll move back to agenda item number 7, mayoral appointment of Karen Ruff, City Solicitor. Mayor Mo submitted the appointment of Karen Ruff, City Solicitor, and her resume. What's the pleasure of the council?
Mr. President,
Ms. Crary.
I highly recommend that we accept and appoint Karen Ruff as City Solicitor.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
A second.
Thank you, Ms. Nicholas. Discussion? Call the roll, Ms. Rowe.
Ms. Crary?
Yes.
Ms. Nicholas?
Yes.
Mr. Ricks?
Yes.
Mr. Smalls?
I vote yes.
President Les?
Yes. Ms. Ruff, do you want to say anything?
Mr. Mayor and Council, I would like to thank you very much for the trust you've placed in me with this appointment. It's an honor, and I look forward to working with you and your fabulous staff as well.
Thank you, Ms. Ruff. Move to agenda item. Move to agenda item number 8, mayoral appointments. Ed Rowe, Transportation and Public Works Committee. Don Gavelek, Transportation and Public Works Committee. And James Phillips, Tree Board. Mayor Moe has submitted the appointments. What's the pleasure of the council?
Move for the adoption.
Thank you, Mr. Ricks. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Smalls. Any discussion? Call the roll, Ms. Rowe.
Mr. Ricks?
Aye.
Mr. Smalls?
I vote yes.
Ms. Nicholas?
Yes.
Ms. Crary?
Yes.
President Les?
Yes. Move to agenda item number 9, general public hearing. I have no one signed up to speak on this agenda item. Is there anyone wishing to speak? You want to do this, or is she going to do it? Okay, Corinne. Corinne has the floor. Excuse me, Corinne. Open the public hearing at 6:20.
Good evening, Mayor, President, Council. I appreciate you allowing the 4th of July Committee to have this time. The Laurel 4th of July Committee really needs to thank the Laurel community and its surrounding areas once again, showing their support for the 39th Annual Independence Day celebration that was held on Saturday, July 1st, 2017. In spite of the quick storm that passed through, it brought some heavy rain. It ended up being a huge success, and mostly due to the big help that we always receive from the City of Laurel elected officials, from the department heads, and from the staff. This is why each year it is so successful. First, the committee was thrilled and honored by the announcement that the Mayor and Laurel City Council made at the event, renaming the Burton Memorial Stage to the Harrison Burton Memorial Stage. Thank you again. Kay, who passed away this year on May 14th, was a founding member of this committee, and her absence was definitely felt this year. Kay's family was in attendance, and they were absolutely thrilled by the announcement as well, so thank you again. Secondly, this event would not go as smoothly without the help from the City of Laurel Public Works Crews, Laurel Police Department, Laurel Emergency Operations, Laurel Parks and Recreation, and the Fire Marshal and Permit Services and their staff. From setting up the cones and fencing, to the Eagle Eye security, to the on-the-spot weather reports, to the family fun games, and help with the licenses for the fireworks and vendors, myself and the Laurel 4th of July Committee can't express how much we appreciate the faith you show in this committee each year, and by being out there with us in the heat and the humidity, and getting the celebration planned and implemented. Thirdly, we also could not get this done if it weren't for the donations from our corporate sponsors. And the residents, and a special thanks to Terry Haas of Sullivan Steak and Beverage Company. We were kind of in the hole, and she stepped up to the plate, picked up the mayor's golf tournament, and ended up filling our coffers quite well. So we really couldn't have done this without her, so a big thank you to Terry Haas. Now, if you're looking for any help, we're asking you please listen to the names. I have to read these names off. Eagle sponsors who gave $1,000 or more. Mayor and City Council, we couldn't do it without you. Thank you you go above and beyond every year, so thank you very much. Mary Lehman, Prince George's County Council, American Legion, and the Sons of the American Legion, Post 60, Adirondack Tree Experts, and the Laurel Shopping Center. Red, White, and Blue sponsors, which was $500 or more, McGowan and Cecil LLC, Coastal Crane Service, and the South Laurel Recreation Council. Liberty Bell sponsors, $250 or more. Thanks to the Laurel Lions Club, Rocky Gorge Animal Hospital, R.L. Thompson Electric, Jiffy Lube, Revere Bank, Sullivan Steak Beverage Company, and Heiser Cycle. And of course, for myself, I need to let the Laurel 4th of July Committee know how much I appreciate all they do throughout the year. Thank you. They're a small group today, but we're usually out on the field. We're all over the place. So from fundraising to planning to being there at the event from 7 a.m. to midnight, each and every year, you make me proud to be part of this committee, so thank you. The names: Jim Cronmeyer, Tracy Krause, Donna Makovelsky, Judy Miller, Eddie Souter, Mike Templeton, Sharon Sively, Bill Stoner, Samantha Kraus, Haley Kraus, Mike Lotsky, Brian Bain, Dan Sively, Beth Barno, Carol Williams, James Agby, Christy Niemiller, Oscar Romano, Pat Kohler, Jim Cross, Bill Allen, Christy Harmon, Marion Nicholson, Sandy Stoner, Joe Treadway, Kathy Huber, Christina Teller, William Stoner, the Laurel Volunteer Fire Department, the Laurel Volunteer Rescue Squad, and of course the many other volunteers that step up to help out. It's this group of people that make this happen year after year. You make it easy for me, and I am so grateful for their hard work. Now, we're always looking for volunteers, so if anybody here or anybody watching at home would love to volunteer, we would love to have you. You can email us at 4thofjuly@laurel.md.us. And finally, thank you to the community. Donations throughout the year make it possible, but funds are declining, and we want to keep bringing you this awesome community event. Next year is our 40th. We want to bring this to you, and we want to do something big. So visit one of our crowdfunding sites and make a donation. Go to GoFundMe.org and look up the Laurel 4th of July celebration, or youcaring.com. Again, the Laurel 4th of July celebration. We are an all-volunteer organization, and we raise the funds ourselves. If you don't donate or the corporate sponsorships are down, this event could go away, although I know the mayor would work very hard to make sure that doesn't happen. So please help us to make sure that this continues. One of the things that we're planning on doing this year is Mike Thomas of Fire Marshal and Permit Services generously made this for us. It's a firecracker. We're going to decorate it, and we're going to put a line up here. What we're going to do is show the donations each month as it goes. We're hoping that this will help people show how much money we need and where we need to get to. So I'm going to start off. We got 50,000 up here. Right now, we're starting at 0. So once that happens, we hit this button, this will start lighting up. So let's make sure that that happens, all right? And finally, a little birdie told us that the Independence Day celebration had another event to celebrate other than our nation's birthday. Fireworks visitor Ryder Finlayson proposed to his girlfriend, Megan Conway, just as the fireworks began on July 1st, and she said yes. So this isn't, this is something Megan said in the Laurel Leader article. It's something that's a family tradition. Year after year they go. So it was an honor when we read that to know that this is a place that Ryder wanted to propose to his girlfriend, Megan. So congratulations to Ryder and Megan, and we wish them a long and happy marriage and many more fireworks celebrations to come. So once again, thank you. 40th next year. So let's plan on it, all right? One other thing, we do have some awards we want to give. There's 3 of them. First is the Harrison Beard Memorial Award that we present to the business that helped us the most. We have so many businesses, but this year, Terry Haas, having stepped up with that Mayor's Cup, really put us over the top. So we are presenting this to Terry Haas, Sullivan Steak and Beverage Company. Unfortunately, she has to run a business, so she was not able to be here tonight. We'll make sure she gets this. Second, the Mayor Robert J. DePietro Award is presented to an employee of the city that helped us out with the committee, and this year we picked Andrea Pickett from the Finance Department. Finance Department they help us so much in keeping track of our money and making sure that the checks get out. It's very important, and you kind of get lost in the shuffle. So we wanted to make sure that Andrea was recognized, because when I drop the money off, she gets the receipts to me and keeps track of everything for us. So we wanted to let her know that we appreciate that. Thank you. And last but not least is the Kevin George Curry Memorial Award. This is an outstanding contribution by an individual in our committee. It's voted on by the committee members. Thank goodness she's here tonight. I would like to have Judy Miller come up here, please. Thank you so much, Judy. He's the one that organizes biannual yard sales, fall and summer, and we out her right when we need it. Yard sale. Thank you. Once again, thank you President, Mayor, City Council, we greatly appreciate all the support you give throughout the year. We're looking forward to next year. Big 4-0. Thanks.
Mr. President,
Mr. Ricks.
I'm thinking, I too would like to thank Corinne for all her job that she does, not just for the city, but for the public as well. I've certainly been in those spots and did not have the kind of resources now that you have, but it's still a lot more than what we did back in my day. So I want to recognize you for doing an outstanding job, as well as the committee. Thank you very much.
Okay, we'll move to agenda item number 10. Consideration of a bid recommendation for fleet acquisition, 4 marked police SUVs and 2 marked police cars. Rob?
Yes, good evening. As discussed at the work session earlier, Public Works has put together a proposal to purchase 4 marked police SUVs and 2 marked police cars. Hertrich Fleet has the state of Maryland contract for the purchase of these type vehicles, and the funds are available in the CIP through speed camera funds. The Ford sedan runs $29,733 each, and the Explorers run $34,561 each. These vehicles come with basically all the emergency equipment other than IT-related equipment that's needed. So it's recommended that we purchase these vehicles for a total of $197,710.
Thank you, Rob. This was presented at the work session. What's the pleasure of the council?
Mr. President,
Ms. Crary.
I recommend that we approve the bid recommendation as set forth by Mr. Furry for the fleet acquisition for a total cost of $197,710.
Thank you, Ms. Crary. Do I have a second?
Mr. President,
Mr. Ricks.
I too would like to second the purchase of the vehicles as said, and as I said in the work session, I think this is, especially with the SUVs, is thinking ahead. I think we get a bigger bang for our buck out of them, and I think we don't want all of them, but certainly having some available for, different things like winter and that sort of thing certainly makes a lot of sense. So I vote yes.
Have a motion and a second. Call roll, Ms. Rowe.
Ms. Crary?
Yes.
Mr. Ricks?
Yes.
Ms. Nicholas?
Yes.
Mr. Smalls?
I vote yes.
President Les?
Yes. With that, I'll defer to the mayor. He has the proclamation.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just 2 other things I did forget under my report. I did want the general public to know that we do have a new drug drop-off box here at Municipal Center, as we have one at the police department. These also are picking up syringes, old syringes. You can drop everything off here at City Hall in the box or at the police department. Also, our police department is police officers, anytime they see kids out and about doing a good job, they're going to get a Slurpee, a free Slurpee. So the police department is partnered with 7-Eleven, and we want to thank them for that as well. I do have a proclamation for National Payroll Week, whereas the American Payroll Association and its more than 21,000 members have launched a nationwide public awareness campaign that pays tribute to more than 150 million people who work in the United States and the payroll professionals who support the American system by paying wages, reporting workers' earnings, and withholding federal income taxes. And whereas payroll professionals play a key role in maintaining the economy of the city of Laurel and the state of Maryland, and the national carrying out such diverse tasks as paying into unemployment insurance, health insurance, payments for retirement, and other savings providers. Carrying out withholding and reporting and depositing for income tax and payroll taxes. A whole lot of taxes in here. And whereas payroll departments collectively spend more than $2.2 trillion annually complying with numerous federal and state wages and tax laws, and whereas the payroll professionals in the city of Laurel annually issue approximately 11,000 payroll checks and 1,200 pension checks, as both live checks and by direct deposit in the capacity with little errors, not like I just read that. Now, therefore, I, Craig M. O., the Mayor of the City of Laurel, do hereby proclaim the week of August 3rd through September the 3rd through September the 9th as National Payroll Week. I guess I'm not getting a check this week. Sorry about that. And they even blew it up so I could read the font without glasses. Michelle Saylor, except Michelle, you want to stay?
Thank you, Mayor. As you can well imagine, the position of payroll clerk is a very important job and one that allows for very little error, and we have one of the best in Lisa Wood. So for that, I'm grateful, and I think we all are. So thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Move to agenda item number 14. Amended and restated ordinance number 1915, Mayor and City Council of Laurel, Infrastructure Bonds, 2017, Series A. An emergency ordinance of the Mayor and City Council of Laurel, a municipal corporation of the state of Maryland, the issuer, providing for the amendment and restatement of ordinance number 1915, providing for the issuance and sale of an aggregate principal amount not to exceed $3,500,000 of bonds of the Mayor and City Council of Laurel, Maryland, to be known as Mayor and City Council of Laurel Infrastructure Bonds 2017 Series A, or by such other or additional designations as required by the Community Development Administration identified herein, the bonds, to be issued and sold pursuant to the authority of Section 4-101 through 4-255 of the Housing and Community Development Article of the Annotated Code of Maryland, as amended, and Section 521 of the Charter of the Mayor and City Council of Laurel for the purpose of, 1, refunding outstanding Mayor and City Council of Laurel, Maryland Infrastructure Bond 2007 Series B, 2, funding a portion of the Capital Reserve Fund, and 3, paying issuance and other costs related to the bonds, providing that the bonds shall be issued upon the full faith and credit of the issuer, providing for the disbursement of the proceeds of the sale of the bonds, and for the levy of annual taxes upon all assessable property within the corporate limits of the issuer, for the payment of the principal of and interest on the bonds as they shall respectively mature, providing for the form, tenor, denomination, maturity date or dates, and other provisions of the bonds, providing for the sale of the bonds, and providing for related services, including without limitation the method of fixing the interest rate or rates to be borne by the bonds, the approval, execution, and delivery of documents, agreements, certificates, and instruments, and the making of or providing for the making of representations and covenants concerning the tax status of interest on the bonds. I've read the title into the record. Michelle, are you going to make the presentation or Karen?
Yes, sir. I can do it.
Okay, go ahead, Michelle.
Yes, sir. You originally adopted this ordinance at your meeting on June 12th. Again, this was for a refinancing of an originally financed 2007 for $8.4 million. This is the balance for 5 years, not to exceed $3.5 million. This restatement and amendment is to clarify in Section 1D that the interest rate would not exceed 2.0%, which was the rate that Mr. Green gave you at the June 7th work session. We just need to state it in the ordinance and had not previously.
Okay. I'll open the public hearing at 6:39. I have no one to sign up to speak on this agenda item. Is there anyone wishing to speak? Seeing no one, I'll close the public hearing at 6:39 and a half. I'll entertain a motion to suspend the rules.
So moved, Mr. President.
I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. Smalls. Thank you, Mr. Ricks. Call the roll, Ms. Rowe.
Mr. Smalls?
I vote yes.
Mr. Ricks?
Yes, as amended.
Ms. Nicholas?
Yes.
Ms. Crary?
Yes.
President Les?
Yes. I'll now entertain a motion on the ordinance. I'm sorry, Mr. Mayor.
So that Mr. Les doesn't have to read that title again. We got everything that we need in this document now.
Correct.
Okay, good. Thank
I
you.
don't have to read it again, do I?
No.
Want to make sure. Now, if Karen, you can tell me I've got to read it, I'll read it again.
No, I don't think you need to read it again. I think it's sufficient to state that you are introducing or adopting, shall I say, amended and restated ordinance number 1915 as previously read.
So whoever makes the motion should state that. Okay.
Another question, though. Should we point out where it's being amended?
Ms. Taylor already did say that it was in Section 1D. There was a blank.
So that's good enough?
Correct.
We
There was
don't
a
have to put it in
blank,
the
and
motion.
all we put in was 2%, which would be consistent with the testimony that was
Do you want to read
provided.
it again?
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Ruff. All right, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. President,
Ms. Crary.
I move to approve amended and restated ordinance number 1915.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Is that sufficient, Ms. Ruff?
I would just say as previously read.
Okay. That's a friendly amendment, as previously read, correct?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Crary, you're all right with that?
I'm fine with that.
Mr. Ricks?
I'm fine with it.
Thank you. Any discussion? Call the roll, Ms. Rowe.
Ms. Crary?
Yes.
Mr. Ricks?
Yes.
Ms. Nicholas?
Yes.
Mr. Smalls?
I vote yes.
President Les?
Just for explanation to the who's watching this, the reason we're doing this and suspending the rules is we're on vacation in August. There's always a possibility that the interest rate could go up. Is that correct, Michelle? We like to think not.
I
But who
believe
knows?
at this point, we are locked in, but we're looking to settle the documents on August 1st, so yes.
Right. Okay, and I'll vote yes.
Mayor Mo?
Okay. Thank you. Move to agenda item number 15. Introduction and first public hearing on resolution number 12-17, a resolution of the mayor and city council authorizing the city to enter into an agreement with Prince George's County for INET. I've read the title into the record for the first reading. I'll open the public hearing at 6:43. I have no one signed up to speak. Is there anyone wishing to speak? Seeing no one, I will close the public hearing at 6:43 and a half. This was discussed at the earlier work session. I'll entertain a motion to suspend the rules. Thank you, Mr. Ricks. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Ms. Crary, any discussion?
Mr. Ricks?
Aye.
Ms. Crary?
Yes.
Ms. Nicholas?
Yes.
Mr. Smalls?
I vote yes.
President Les?
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
I'm sorry, that was on the suspension of the rules.
Right. Move to entertain a motion on the resolution.
So moved, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Ricks. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Smalls. Any discussion? Call the roll.
Mr. Ricks?
Aye.
Mr. Smalls?
I vote yes.
Ms. Nicholas?
Yes.
Ms. Crary?
Yes.
President Les?
Yes.
Mayor Mo?
That concludes the agenda. Is there anything else to come before the council tonight? Meeting's adjourned. Thank you, everybody.